There's a grand total of one issue where Pat Robertson actually makes sense. That would be the issue of marijuana. And he famously, a few years ago, argued that we should end the drug war. And he said, look, we shouldn't be locking people up. This is insane. Our prisons are overcrowded. Everybody was stunned and pleasantly surprised, including myself. Well, now he's going to move away from that position just a little bit. Let's listen.
Everybody, the little kids are getting high. They've got marijuana cupcakes, marijuana soft drinks, marijuana gummy bears. Oh, do you want your little 8th grader to be stoned when he goes to school? Well, welcome to Colorado, where pot is legal. You know, I have been one that has been very much against the incredible incarceration rate in the United States of America. We have made this country a nation of criminals. We have the highest incarceration rate of any nation on the face of the earth, and more so than mainland China, more so than Russia. And what are we doing? We're locking up people for the possession of marijuana. So what I have wanted, and I think it's a right cause, is the decriminalization of marijuana. But apparently the next step is the legalization of it, which is a totally different matter. It's to, you know, full-scale spread of this stuff, and it is not good for people's health. It is destroying their minds, and it is destroying their lungs, and the addiction is pretty heavy, and it's also a gateway drug into the heavier stuff like cocaine and crack and you know, whatever else is out there besides heroin, et cetera. There's so many ways that they're sniffing glue. These kids find more ways to destroy themselves. But we, the citizens of Colorado, have got to face the issue. Decriminalization, we're not going to lock the people up because they've got a few ounces of grass sitting in their car. Well, that's smart. Mm-hmm. But opening the doors so little kids can buy marijuana gummy bears.
It's despicable. They're clearly targeting kids with gummy bears, having marijuana and gummy bears and cupcakes and soft drinks.
It's awful.
And that's awful, but totally agree that it shouldn't be a major criminal offense, obviously. But like the guy said, how productive can people be when they're stoned? You know, I mean, come on.
I've never tried, and I hope I don't have to.
I like how they're telling you what their concern is. But you need to be a productive, obedient worker and listen to your boss all the time, every day, ever, and never relax, ever, and just work as a spoke in a machine until you fucking die. Who's gonna go? I'm with them on that one. I'm with the guys who want us to work nonstop and not be and just be productive all day long. Let me argue in favor of being unproductive for a second. Okay? It's great to be productive when you should be productive, but you should also, when you're not working, when you're not busting your ass trying to get a paycheck, you should be unproductive and you should fucking relax and take it easy, man. But they're like, nah, even in your downtime, they're going to be stoned. Oh, those people stoned will be so bad. Oh. And Pat Robertson at the end was like, I hope I never had it. I hope they don't make me take it. Who's going to make you take it? What are you talking about? Imagine people holding Pat Robertson down. Ooh, I hit the microphone. People holding Pat down like, just smoke it. Smoke it, old man. Nobody's going to do that, Pat. Now, are you ready for this? I'm going to throw you guys a little curveball here on this story. Okay, there, I said it. Now, why am I being somewhat kind? Now, I'll get to, of course, points that they make that are stupid in a second. Obviously, it's a Pat Robertson clip. But by and large, all right, I'll accept it. Why? Because he said my position is decriminalize. He was wrong about a bunch of shit he said and demonizing the whole idea of legalizing it. He's wrong about that. But that is the spectrum of debate that is acceptable to sane people. The furthest right-wing position should be, well, just decriminalize, don't legalize, right? And I'll accept, I disagree with you, but I can accept that. I think the people who want to do prohibition are just, they're so out of their fucking minds that I don't even want to engage in a conversation with them because they're stupid. And they don't know anything, they don't know the facts, they don't care about freedom, right? And they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So if you say decriminalize, okay, I'll have a conversation with you. I disagree with you, but we can have a conversation. That should be the furthest right-wing position that's possible, is decriminalize, but don't legalize. Now, I'm in favor of legalization, so again, I disagree with you, but at least you're within the spectrum of debate that's acceptable. Now, why are you wrong about demonizing legalization? Well, they didn't legalize it for kids. You can mock the idea of, oh, cupcakes and gummy bears, we eat gummy bears. Oh, that sounds so delicious. Oh, you can mock it all you want, but guess what? Adults take it. I'm sure they take it. I've seen them do it. You can say it's marketed towards kids, but you just made that up. That's not true. Now, look, if it happens that kids are getting it, great. Continue to make that illegal. Kids should not be allowed to get it, period. So have strict enforcement where kids shouldn't get it. I don't want kids to get it. I'm with you on that, okay? But that doesn't mean you take away legalization for the adults. That's like saying some kids might drink alcohol, so ban alcohol for adults. That's insanity. And then when he says, well, it's a gateway drug, no, it's not. And then when he says, oh, there's an addiction problem, no, there's not. Again, I have this studies on my side. He doesn't have them on his side. And then finally, last point I'll make is, the reason why they're so insanely off base to be against legalization is the myth of no moderation. And look, a lot of smart people fall into this trap also. It's the idea that somehow society is going to collapse or it's going to fall or there's going to be all these problems if we legalize substances because nobody can handle it. It's the reefer madness mindset, and it's not just for weed, it's for all drugs. It's this idea that if you legalize all drugs, oh my God, overnight it'll be anarchy. Nobody can do moderation. Everybody will be addicted. Everybody will need to go to rehab. Everybody will need to go to see psychiatrists or whatever. And that is so not true. Look, sure, there's a percentage of people that have an addictive personality. They're going to get addicted to drugs under any circumstance, legal, illegal, whatever. Right, and that's just their personality. They can't do moderation, and that's certainly different depending on what drug we're talking about. Cocaine and heroin are much more addictive than marijuana. Marijuana is not even physically addictive, right? And then hallucinogenics, psychedelics, they're not really addictive either. And then there's drugs that are in the middle that are somewhat addictive but not really, and the list goes on, right? So there's a massive variation in how much a substance is addictive and how much your personality can lead you to actually having a problem with addiction. But even under the strictest, harshest measure, the overwhelming majority of people can be moderate users for most drugs. Okay, I'll never forget one of my best friend's fathers, who's a world-renowned lung doctor. He gave a speech. He gives speeches all over the world, but he gave one in France. And after the speech, he said the French doctors came up to him and said, "Would you like to come and do the heroin with us?" He was like, huh? Like, would you like to shoot the heroin with us? It's like, what? Am I in the Twilight Zone? And it had to be explained to him, like, no. It's the culture that on the weekends, some of the doctors who are brilliant and save lives, sometimes they do heroin. See, that blows our minds. Why? Because we've had, the rot has gotten so deep in our minds where we just think, oh, drugs bad. Oh, it's addictive. Look, again, I don't want you to take my word for it. I'm a fucking talk show host. What do I know? Go read Dr. Carl Hart's book or listen to him speak. He's done many podcasts, done many interviews. He talks about this all the time. The drugs are not the problem, okay? People can be moderate users for a lot of drugs, most drugs. Not all. There's some that are, crocodile or crystal meth. Certain ones are like, okay, they're a little fucking too crazy. But they wouldn't exist anyway if drugs were legal because they're a cheap attempt that's cut with all types of toxic shit to get a different high. So crocodile is a cheaper heroin high or opiate high, and a crystal meth is a cheaper cocaine high, and amphetamine high. So if drugs were legal, those wouldn't exist anyway. So it's a massive myth that so many people believe, and this is one of the things I have the hardest time trying to change people's minds on. Even if people agree with me on most things, certain things they draw the line, they go, not this one. But, dude, I'm not saying it because it's just my opinion. I'm saying it because it's based on the evidence. Don't buy into the nonsense. Don't buy into the reefer madness propaganda that says you can't legalize drugs because society will fall because nobody can moderate. Most people can use in moderation. So let's actually do this wild thing, this crazy thing known as falling on the side of freedom. That would be good.